Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge Life. And today, I just want to have fun and do a gab session with you. I promised you guys that we were going to have these sessions once in a while where I'd find a place in my dressing room, just sit down and talk about whatever is going on, and yes, answer some of your questions. So without further ado, first of all, please subscribe to the channel. Also, and may there be peace on earth. So hopefully you guys are in the holiday season mood. I finally got in the mood today, partially because I saw our daughter today. She and I went out, had a great time running around to a few shops, doing some last minute stuff, as well as preparing for a foot. That's 12 inches of snow. We just had about 6 inches of snow. So we have like this foot of snow coming, actually starting, is it tomorrow? No, starting on Wednesday. So 2 days from now. Yes, today is Monday. I know, my days of the week. And, you know, it will be, I mean, if we get the 12 inches of snow, we live in the hills. So up here, especially in the town that we live in, it's one of those towns where we don't have a Department of Transportation. Our roads are taken care of by the people who do the highways. So they have to use their big highway trucks, come through our country town and clear the roads. So our roads are some of the last roads cleaned or cleared of snow, ice, and whatever else might be out there. I don't even know, they didn't even pre-treat these roads, I don't think, yet. And the highways were definitely pre-treated. When I was on my way home, the pre-treatment stuff was all over the place, getting all over my shiny vehicle. And so I was like, I was trying to actually get ahead of that, not because of the vehicle, but because that means that the snow, the ice, and whatever is not far behind. Because today, even though it's not supposed to be our 12-inch of snow day, we had flurries all day long, and we had this weird wintry mix, which for those that are living in, let me think, 70 degree, 80 degree temperatures, and you never have been in New England, you don't know what that is. Wintry mix is the worst thing to get when it's below freezing outside. I prefer to get snow, and I prefer to actually have sleet versus a wintry mix. The wintry mix is a mixture of snow, some icy crystals, which we call sleet, and rain. It's like the weirdest triple, you know, what do they call that? A trifecta? I'm not a gambler, so I don't know, but I think it's called a trifecta of like the yucky stuff. But like I said, and I honestly prefer to have snow and sleet over rain. I know, it's like I'm not right? But I am right. Why? Because I just enjoy driving in it. I have no issues driving in it. And also, if you just take your time, you know, just use common sense. If the roads are really bad, get off the roads. Why are you on the roads? Go home or stay, S-T-A-Y. A lot of people are having issues with that word right now and have been ever since what? I'm going to say February, March. Like, just stay home. It's not worth your safety or someone else's. So if I'm at home and I see the beautiful snow and sleet covering everything, I am in bliss. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me. And if you don't agree with me, yeah, go ahead, leave your little angry emojis down there. I'm good. I get it. I mean, not everybody is in love with the weather the way I am. But that wintry mix stuff, ew, that's really the worst. And it also messes up your visibility more, that wintry mix stuff. But anyway, so when I came home, that's what I was coming home to. And that's what I was actually trying to avoid. I was trying to get ahead of that. And also, thankfully, because it's Monday, everyone who is going to be out there doing whatever it was they were going to be doing, most of those people had already did that. Plus, us living where we live, knowing that we were having a wintry mix today, less people on the highways, which is great because that means I don't have to compete with everyone. And at the stores, guess what? Less people in the stores, which for me personally was great because first of all, I don't want your COVID. Secondly, I also, more of the shelves were stocked up. Definitely, without question, there are some empty store shelves in certain aisles, and other aisles are totally fine. Like, I'm trying to think. I would say like 85-90% of the other store aisles are completely fine. In fact, when we were there, they were stocking shelves, but there's still that questionable aisle, you know which one I'm talking about, and this other aisle which is a little bit sketch, and there's another aisle that's a little bit sketch. Those are still the same way they were before when everyone was out panic buying. So if you need rice, if you need beans, if you need any type of paper good, other than like plastics are fine. Of course, the evil plastic. And certain frozen things are not fine. Like, you just have to shop smartly. But there are other stores that you could go to. I've never been to, I think it's called a Dollar General, which is, I think someone said, not really a dollar store, but they sell things that are sort of like grocery goods as well. And that's a place, I know this person in particular who said that that's a good place to go to get some of the things if your regular grocery stores are out. So you do have plan Bs, I guess, for now anyway. Also, one of the things that I was like super, I think got me into the holiday mood was the fact that, I hate to say this is really weird, but the fact that the stores were not overloaded with people. It just felt more peaceful. There was no get out of my way kind of stuff. And what is this person doing? And, blah, blah, blah. And where is all the stuff? Like, it was what it was. And it was very pleasant. And also, of course, seeing our child for, a few hours always makes me super happy. And I'm trying to think what else. Really. Oh, and I think also the fact that all of my shopping is completely done, just finished, done. And for this holiday season, it will just be my husband, our child, and our dog, of course, and I. And I am so good with that. We're not party people anyway. And we also don't like we're just showing up to show up. Like, why? Then you might as well stay home. We want to have a good time, and we can have a good time by ourselves. And usually that's when we have the most fun, or the people that we invite into our circle because they deserve to be in the circle and they want to be in the circle. Guess what? You are in the circle. So, but with the virus out there, no one other than the three of us and our dog are in our little circle, or bubble as I call it. And we are totally good with that because we are not trying, like, my husband got sick because of the virus, and we are not trying to reintroduce that back into our lives. It was horrible and horrific all at the same time, and incredibly fast moving. So it's not a joke. And we actually, or I know this guy who had to have part of his leg from his knee down amputated due to the virus. So Mr. Lee, You know we send our best. I've sent you some messages already, and this guy is amazing, keeping his sense of humor about it, but he's definitely doing a lot of PSAs, telling people this is real, pay attention, stop being an idiot. A baby could do the right thing. Why can't you wear a mask? And wash your hands and stop being an idiot. And yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. So, when you are in those hospitals, or if your person gets sick, even if you have to treat them yourself at home, which is kind of scary because you are opening yourself up to getting the virus as well. Or if they are in a critical situation, or such as losing a limb or losing a life, then all of a sudden, those people who didn't want to wear a mask, those people who are claiming this isn't real and all this other stupid, idiotic bullcrap, they're the ones clogging up the hospitals, putting our healthcare workers and others in danger. I say they should be interned somewhere and made to suffer through the whole thing, because God only knows how many people they got sick or killed from them being idiots out here, and now they're crying like babies and crawling into hospitals and other medical places for treatment. That's not right, and it's not fair, but I know that, they're going to be treated and whatever. I can say whatever I want to say, and that's what I had to say. So anyway, so in our little bubble, technically it's really just the three of us and our dog, and so far, because we really tighten things up like Fort Knox around here, especially after my husband got sick. You could be a resurrection, and most likely the chances of you coming onto our property are very low. Like when I had the guys here who did some construction work for us, they knew the rules and they paid attention to every single one and actually went above and beyond to make sure that we were safe, but I also wanted to make sure they were safe. And that was really, really good. And we never came even within 10 feet of each other. And then also the deliveries, we have them going to one particular part outside of our house. So they're not even going on our front porch, which is honestly not really, to me, like the best place to have packages delivered anyway, but it is what it is. And yeah, that's all been working out perfectly, just to keep the distance. And even when these new packages are being delivered, due to the holiday season, they are sequestered for a while before they're opened or touched by us. And then when they are open, obviously after that, wash your hands, etc., and dispose of the waste products, recycle people, so that you can just make sure you're being extra safe. And so what else has been going on? Preparing for this foot of snow coming in. And my husband is hilarious because every time this happens, he acts as if he's like preparing for a zombie apocalypse. And it's like, dude, there's nothing for you to do, but he'll have his gloves on his special chair and his coat, and he'll actually take his boots out of the coat closet and put them in front of this chair. And yeah, it's kind of funny, but hey, we get the job done. I'm one of those. I put on my hat, I put on a furry coat and some boots, and sometimes I don't even have gloves, which is ridiculous because I should. But I just want to get the work done. And then yes, I get cold and I have to go to the gloves and da-da-da. And he's like, oh my God, and this and that and whatever. Yes, that's how we are. Did you ever watch Flea Market Flip? If you ever did, we were on that show, and yes, we won. And that's us. If you see us on there, we're bickering. That is how we are, in a loving way. After so many decades, it is what it is. And yes, I have been married for decades. And so let me get into some questions. So that kind of segues into the question section. And I think you need some more music first and a little bit of dancing. That was fun. So, question number one is, well, is it really number one? Not really. We'll go back, I guess, talking about the acting a little bit. So as far as acting, yes, there are projects that I've worked on, that I am slated to work on, and working in the industry, of course, like any other industry, I don't care what it is out there that should have made adjustments for health safety, so have they for the television and movie industry. You have to, okay, to keep everyone safe. And let's say that you have a multi-million upon millions and millions of dollar actor out there, and they're on set, you're on set, you don't want them to get you sick, and you don't want to get them sick. And also, obviously, sets, even though when you watch a movie or television show, they seem so vast, they're actually much tighter and smaller in many instances than you realize. However, sometimes they are vast. Like if you're doing a subway station, hello, you're usually in an actual subway station and it's huge because it's a subway station. But if you're in a room like this, you might have, 8 people in here and not realize, and you might be looking at this on television thinking that, wow, that place looks like they could put 30 people in there. Well, this room that I'm in right now and this is my dressing room, so it can only probably fit, I'm going to say 7 or 8 people in here. And I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places actually where people could sit in this room. And those pieces are what we call convertible furniture. So the furniture serves more than one purpose, except for 2 pieces in this room that only serve one purpose, and that's to sit on them. So you don't, and plus you also don't realize when you're watching like these programs, movies, how many people are on that set. It's usually a lot. There are lighting people, when you see the gaffer and you see all of that, the boom, and you see all of that in the credits, and you see that long list of, all of those people are usually somewhere on set. And so, and they may not be like right in the same little circle, but they're definitely there somewhere. And so you have lots and lots of people coming and going and this and that and whatever. And then you have the support people to the support people, such as food services, the people who deal with like cleaning things up, and those that are, actually dealing with, arranging things on the set, like the prop masters, as I like to call them. And others, even folks who watch out for weather and such. You might even have some union people. You could have all sorts of people, security, real police guards and stuff, or police folks who are hired on not to be in, but just to secure the set. Watch the equipment, this and that, whatever. So there are a lot of different people coming and going. So one of the things that's changed is, first of all, before you, when you're signing on for these projects, if you agree to the contract or whatever, then part of it now is a new section about COVID-19, of course. And you either agree or you don't agree. If you don't agree, guess what? You don't work, and you don't deserve to work, because if you want to work, you'll agree. And all you're agreeing to is taking a test before you're hired to make sure that you are fine. If you're fine, you're hired. If you're not, I honestly don't know what happens, but obviously you won't be on set. It's one of the conditions of the contract. And if you are hired on and the test is, your initial test is great, it's good, you seem to be fine, then yes, every single day you are on set, you need to be tested again just to make sure of a couple things. One, it wasn't a false positive the first time. And two, between the time that you took the last test and that moment that you take the next, hopefully you didn't contract the virus in between that time. It happens. And as long as you're on that project working for whatever that show or movie is, you will go through that process over and over again. So if you're someone who's like, I can't go through that, go through getting tested over and over again, then obviously you are not going to be right for any of those jobs until this whole situation is changed or different. So what you need to do is be more fluid, and you need to be more flexible. And also when you are on set, when you're on camera, yes, of course, a mask is off. You do whatever it is you need to do. Once that take is over, then you put your mask on and you obviously socially distance. And that is just the way it is. Food services, different things that normally we took for granted have definitely tightened up their programs. And honestly, a lot of this stuff is really the way it should have been, whether it's on a television or movie set or your local coffee bar or the grocery store, gas station, or wherever it is that you go. I mean, a lot of these measures are things that we always should have been doing. And I always was sort of like that. I was that person, not really what I would consider a germaphobe, but kind of, like, yeah, kind of. And so there's hand sanitizers everywhere and things like that, and extra mask and this and that and whatever. And of course, always bring your own just in case. And, be prepared for anything, because when you're on set, you always should be prepared for anything, because that's just the way it is. So some of the things that I've been involved with, there's a Hallmark movie that only required a one-day assignment, and they had to test you in advance, and like just went through the regular motions. When the job is done, you're done, you go home, it's a done deal. And then the movie that I shot over like 3.5 or so months at the beginning of this year, up through, I feel like it was up through like February, I believe. That is supposed to be released in 2021, but I think it's like the fall or winter of. And we will get more information on that, obviously, as the date gets closer. And the guy who actually stars in it, starts doing his talk show rounds. Then, of course, we could talk about it more, and I could give you a lot more detail then. And also, as many of you know, I've been involved in antiques, uniques, collectibles, and oddities for many, many, many years. And therefore, and I've also been a auctioneer for about, oh my God, I think it's like close to 7 years. Oh my God, time flies, you guys. It is no joke. Live your life now, realistically and safely, but live now. It's been like 7 years. And I'm more of an auctioneer in the style of someone who'd be working for Christie's or Swans or someone like that. I am not a country rambler or like the Amish folks. They have really fun auctions where they do that like rambling, rhyming thing. I don't do that. I basically get down to business. Not that they're not. They just know how to do it, in that sing-song, rhymey way. And therefore, I have my knowledge, I would say, with antiques, uniques, and collectibles, the places where I think I have the most knowledge is with ephemera, costume jewelry, really any type of jewelry, costume or not, but more so costume jewelry. I'm trying, oh, books, which we just love books. So I actually started this out with books. I'll have to probably do a video on that sometime in the future. And I'm trying to think, like, and I'm trying to, because I have a lot of general knowledge in so many areas of that, like, genre of antiques, uniques, collectibles, and oddities. But those are really probably my, and glassware, some china. Those are really the areas where I probably know the absolute most. And as my daughter would say, she's like, Mom, you're like an encyclopedia of like antiques and crazy knowledge. And that's really awesome. Like that you could pick this up and be like, it's a da 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 from this and that and this century and whatever. And, it's from this type of design era and whatever. But that just comes after years and years and years and decades. Yes, people, decades of looking at items and also learning about them on your own. Like do your own homework and make sure you're using reliable sources, of course. And before you know it, as long as you're consistent with it and you do it almost every other day, you'll have a lot of knowledge as well. And I also talk to a lot of experts and deal with a lot of experts. And I also reference a lot of those people to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. And especially if I need more information, I'm doing research on an item or something for a client. Obviously, you want to be sure. If you don't, if you can't pick this up and know it immediately, then never guess. Obviously, you do your research, and dealing with other people who are experts in the field, great source of information. And talk about decades of knowledge. These people have, 50, 40 years of knowledge. Here I am with my little, 25 to 30 years of knowledge. And more like 25 years of knowledge. And yeah, some of them have twice that. So, because of that, that's, one of the reasons that I might, be a regular. I definitely will be on the show, but now there's talk about expanding that opportunity to me being a regular where we will, get into that genre even more. Yes, I know some things I can't give you tons of detail because you sign a contract and it is what it is. And they have promotions and different things that they have scheduled to do so that, they can get the word out the way they want on these particular shows or movies. But you guys know me, as things, gradually start to roll again, then yes, you'll get more information. Another question I had was on what we're doing for the holidays and will we be spending it with my child, our child. I always say that, like my husband did donate to the creation of our daughter. Believe it or not, he did. And of course I kind of answered that in the beginning, but yes, the three of us and our little doggy will be together for the holiday season. And I can't wait because it'll be for at least a couple to a few days. And then New Year's Eve, we're always together. And New Year's morning, I make breakfast and then everyone goes, back to real life or whatever. And what other question did I have? Oh, someone asked, which I was so happy, if I will be continuing with my gardening series. Yes, and triple, quadruple yes. I would start it today if I could, but nature, beautiful Mother Nature, has to go through her whole cycle of life with us. And yeah, so that's going to be fun. I think I have some more, and it'll be a little more refined than it was this previous season, because this season was a lot of experimentation and some things that worked. Obviously, I mean, not obviously, but the majority of the things worked, but obviously there were a few things that didn't work, and those will either be tweaked or we'll just try something else next season. What else did I have questions on? Oh, will I be talking more about antiques, uniques, and collectibles and oddities? Have to throw that in there. And yes, I actually am thinking about creating a series, whereas I will, discuss a particular genre or category of antiques, uniques, collectibles, and maybe not the oddities. The oddities freak people out a little bit. So yeah, but I will still, tell you what sells on, what antiques, uniques, and things like that sell. I have a video that will be coming up next month on that. Just to give you guys an idea of what's been selling and, the trends and things you should be looking for. It is the year 2020. It's a 100th year anniversary of Art Deco. So if you have Art Deco items, now is the time to sell them because the prices have gone up because of the 100-year anniversary. So gave you a little tip there. So what else is there? I mean, I don't receive lots and lots of questions in the comments. So I wish that you guys would please leave some of your questions in the comments, because when you leave a question, other people are less shy and they will ask a question. And that's always helpful to the channel because we are still trying to reach our 1,000 plus subscribers. And we can't do it without you guys. And I really do thank you for tuning in. And before this camera cuts off, remember that your health is your wealth. And without your health, you have absolutely nothing. So please, please, please remember to take care of yourselves. Subscribe to the Velvet Lounge Life. May there be peace on earth. And let it begin with you and me. And have a happy holidays. And click that subscribe button, thumbs up, and look at our playlist to see there's a lot of different subject matter there. There's probably something you are interested, whether it's cooking, gardening, buttons, antiques, uniques, collectibles, how to be your own business